Welcome everyone to another What's New in Dynatrace. Today we are covering 276, all the product updates, everything that is relevant for you when you want to use the latest features will be covered today. And as always, I have Berkan with me. Berkan, how are you doing?
Hi, Andy. All good. Thank you. And you?
All good here as well. Hey, let's jump right into the content that we have prepared for our listeners today.
Okay, let's go with the next slide then.
Perfect. As always, right, quick overview from my side. We always cover a little bit of the playground. That's a reminder that we have the playground tenant for you to explore the new latest Dynatrace features. And then Berkan will do the bulk of the update on the product updates, walking through the release notes and showing you the important things and things that might be some hidden gems. And then at the end, some community and other resources. I think the next slide will be then covering the playground tenant. Folks, if you are not yet familiar with the playground tenant, you can access the Dynatrace playground tenant either through that URL, the dt-url.net/discover. Every Dynatrace user that has a Dynatrace SaaS account can access that URL. If you do not yet have a Dynatrace account, well, it's very simple. The top left link is just a link that you can use to sign up for a trial, bit.ly dt SaaS trial. If you use that link, I can also track a little bit on how many people are actually signing up through my videos. So that's why I would appreciate using that link. But otherwise, you can also just go to the website. And we also have a couple of GitHub repositories. The link on the bottom is to the Dynatrace Getting Started GitHub repository. We have a lot of links to different notebooks and dashboards and tutorials that you also find on the playground tenant. So explore the playground tenant and explore the great use cases that we have prepared for you. All right, I think with this, Berkan, it is over to you.
All right, thank you. Okay, hi everyone again. So in this video, we are going to cover the version 276 feature updates. And as always, you can find all these details as documented in this URL, in this page. And these will be the parts that we will go through on this video. If you need to see that other components, updates, or Dynatrace-related news, you can always check this part of documentation, and from the different section, I can also show it to you in a couple of minutes that where you can reach directly from documentation. So the first one that we have is with the dashboard application. With the new dashboarding apps, up to and including the current release, as you see that the values from your query, that codes and CSV variables have been automatically converted to numbers where possible. But now, starting with this new release, within this application, all such variable values are returned as string. And you need to use the conversion functions in your queries to convert values as needed. So there might be some errors in some of your existing dashboards application, and those errors are dependent on the previous conversation. For example, if you expect a number in your query, now it's going to receive string. And as I said, you need to use these conversion functions to get the values which you need. We introduced the new DQL application. We are really promoting DQL capabilities in YouTube, in documentation, in environments. We are trying to make your life easier as much as possible. And the DQL application is one of them. Please have a look at this. You are going to find playground tutorials, interactive tutorials, and you will find use case examples within this JSON audit logs. I'm going to show you how you can access this application from your environment directly and how you can start to learn the DQL if you haven't started yet. And in YouTube series, of course, we also have great resources together with our platform team, and they are going through the commands, functions, operators one by one in a very clear and smooth way. Please always also check those clinics from our YouTube channels. So in this version, we included the two different functions in our queries. The lookup function that you might remember maybe from the previous versions that we already talked about the nested fields and using lookup as a function, but also you will find a different example of how that lookup function can be used and return a record from a subquery to make a relationship between the source table and the field in the lookup table. So for example, let's say that you have a customer that's making an order, and you need to have a relationship between a customer table and another table containing customer information. So lookup function can be used for this type of relationship. And the timeframe function is basically filtering for timeframes. And we will have one example in the playground environment, which you can also explore it by yourself by clicking this link. Another command, the summarize command, which groups together records that have the same values of a given field and aggregates all of them. But now, if you don't provide an input records and don't use the by clause, these commands will return a single empty aggregate result for all the aggregated functions. And we will see this example also again from this environment. Let's briefly, this is also a new minor updates with this command in this version. Interesting feature, interesting information that we introduced with the problem lifecycle. So we are giving more and more transparency to you that how exactly that we detect those problems, our logic, and trying to give you this explanation in a much clearer way. Hopefully it works. So with this version, now we introduced several fields, let's say, or explanations in the problem lifecycle. So for example, you will see in this problem the time when the earliest event analysis of problem started, and you're going to see when the problem was created and when the root cause analysis was finished. And lastly, that you will see when a problem changed from a frequent issue to an abnormal issue. And we will explore this example together with you in the same environment. And you will also, of course, you can check by yourself directly from our playground environments. And we improved the consistency of Web UI and REST UI alerting profile filters and notification engine. So now we have this match in a better way in Web UI and REST API alerting profiles, as you see from this also explanation. So what does it mean? That currently the alerting profiles are independently evaluated. But this leads to some inconsistency with our problem notification engine or problem manager, that it's an internal change maybe, but it will also affect some corner cases. Not a big impact, let's say, but the corner cases, let's assume that you have an alerting profile with 10-minute delay. And it could happen that a notification is triggered on exactly 10 minutes, 1 second duration of the problem. Then the problem is resolved with the end timestamp, for example, after 9 minutes, let's say. So there will be some inconsistency that this will not match during alerting profile periodic evaluation, and therefore it will trigger notification for a profile which is not on a problem. So this is briefly the case that it covers. And if you have a similar case, that if you need more details, you might need actually. But as I said, it's an internal detail that we have from our logic. And now this issue is gone. But if you have similar issues, that you can of course reach out to our team via chat or support center to ask for more details to understand your cases. But briefly, this will be the section you will see in release notes, and this is the example that I just give you as quickly. Okay, let's go to our platform to see some of those features, if they're real or not. Okay, 1 second. Perfect. So as mentioned, this is the documentation, and the important part maybe for you, all these components are listed here under these notes. So if you need, please just go through them directly from this documentation, and you can find the link in all over the presentation. The slide. Okay, this is notebooks shared with you in the presentation. And one of the functions that I mentioned here is timeframe function. So as you see that with this function, we are just applying filtering within the time frame. I set limits 100 here, and from that 1 day before and second hour before that, I can see that this part is run we run this query. If I run this again, here you are going to see that from the start and end time frame that filtering applied by using this function directly. So it can be useful, for example, to analyze a specific log records or specific specific analysis, let's say, during a time frame, that time frame. So it can be used really for filtering purposes. So this summarize DQL commands. As I mentioned, now it returns empty aggregation results. And you can see this in this example. Here's a sample record that we have, and we applied filtering, which is greater than 3. And here, there's no results. So therefore, we don't have any other information in other fields that accepts only in an under count. That you will see it's 0, that we will return the empty results with this example. So the DQL application, if you would like to learn, if you would like to understand how exactly the DQL can be used, this is a great place to check it out, not start maybe. You can start from several resources, to be honest, but this is one of them that you can use. And to use DQL application, please go to your Dynatrace hub first. Let's click on hub here. And when you go to this hub, you are going to find all the applications in there that are available in Dynatrace. And you just need to install DQL application. Okay, let's go together. Let's do it together. So here, I discover all these applications. And if I type DQL, here's the application available directly in this list. So now it's already installed, of course, in my environments, but these parts can explain to you what type of capabilities, what type of learning mechanisms are available within this application. And once you have this app, let's open this, you will be just welcomed by this page. And if I click, for example, the beginner's exercise, as I said, it's step by step. It is really that explains smoothly. And I think it's a good place for you to check and learn how you can use DQL in your daily works.
And I think we also already had some other videos to promote the Learn DQL Cap. It will be improved on a continuous basis, really to show you how DQL works. And as you also mentioned, Berkan, there's some of the videos that you see embedded in the app are now also part of a YouTube playlist. And they're extending this playlist with additional use cases to learn DQL actually by use case. So not only explaining the DQL individual commands and functions, but also show you use cases and how you then apply these use cases with DQL. It's really cool stuff. Great work from the platform advocacy team.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay. So I think it's okay for this DQL application.
Mm-hmm.
And with the problem lifecycle, so this is just one problem that I'm showing you in our playground environment again. And the example that I actually put a screenshot is this one, and you can find in the slide as well. So here, time by time, we show you that when exactly the analysis time frame starts, when exactly that we create this problem, and when we finalize the root cause analysis. And you can start to use analyze these problems starting from an environment. This is, I think, very useful, at least to check understand the logic in a better way.
I think it's also a textual representation of what you normally see in the time-lapse view. So if you are looking at the problem evolution and the individual kind of progression, this is a great way. It's a textual way where we explain to you how we observed the problem from the whole life cycle perspective. When we started to observe the problem, what we've observed along the way until the problem is closed. That's really good to see this here as well in text. Yeah,
definitely. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation again. And the infrastructure updates. And we have improved the description of crash tab analytics switch on the host settings page. So now you might not see this feature in your tenant because there is a feature flag, internal feature flag, was necessary before. So with this version, I think it might still be necessary that you need to enable this feature flag by reaching out our team or your account teams. I just put this as an example. If you don't see it in your tenant, this is the reason. So once you have this feature flag, once you have this feature, or maybe out of the box in the future, let's say, maybe in near future, I really don't know the roadmap of this, but this will be visible like in the settings page. And this will move maybe in the future as a separating menu item. But again, maybe this is something that we need to go cover in one of these feature releases. For you, it is enough to just know that when you have crunched up analytics, it will appear under the settings page. I will also show you from the platform how exactly you can reach out this feature flag, feature array. I hope it's clear. Okay, let's see. So we introduced new attribute values for Windows events logs. And this is just an example where you can find. I will also show you from the environment directly that how you can add those, use those attributes and add to ingest logs from your machines. So let's do it quickly. Okay, as I mentioned, that this is the crash dump analytics feature. So it's available. The host settings. When you go to host settings, you will see it under general view. And if you don't see it again, then please reach out to our teams to enable this feature. And in the future, I think that will happen, but I cannot say that 100%. They might move this to this menu item as a separate menu item. So I'm just saying this to you just to make you aware of it if you don't see it in your platform. So this is another update with this host settings. So the new attributes that we introduced, you just need to go to settings page on settings application. And here, log monitoring, and you will see the log ingest rules. So if I click Add Rule button here to define those specific conditions, here's the section you are going to see the new attributes for Windows event logs.
That's great. So that means you can really control what type of logs we really want to ingest based on metadata we have on the Windows platform. Yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely.
Cool.
Okay, let's go. So with the synthetic monitoring, these operating systems are now supported for synthetic enabled active gates. And that's okay, there's no need to read, of course, all these versions, but it might be important for you that I see that there are some users are doing net migration in their Red Hat environment. And this can be important for them, especially to know that now they are available to use in Synthetic. And you can click on this link to see the whole table to find out which operating systems are supported. And these are the new ones that you will find in this release.
That's really great to know, because I know synthetics are a big part of many of our customers' lifecycle management of their apps. So synthetic locations or synthetic tests are not only great for availability monitoring in production, not only from the outside, but you can also have your own private synthetic locations to test connectivity between, let's say, data centers, connectivity between locations, but also remember that you can also use synthetic on demand, which I've been promoting quite heavily, because synthetic on demand means you can execute synthetic tests at any point in time, typically from your pipeline. When you deploy a new version of an app, when you do a blue-green deployment or canary deployment, you can then trigger synthetic tests to validate if your systems still work as expected. And I think that's really great that we are expanding the support of operating systems for private synthetic locations. Really cool.
Thank you. I think it was a better explanation that exactly the value of this feature.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you very much for the comments. So let's see what we have next. In application security, we introduced the tracking links, and it is basically that it will be helpful for you to track your progress in the remediation items. So you can also keep track of this specific progress, and you can check if your team already started to work on fixing the vulnerability. So this is briefly that I think useful for the teams to see what exactly that has been recorded for that specific vulnerability. And you can add this for process groups and for nodes via UI or API. So these both options are possible for this. And if I switch to our demo environment, here's an example that you can find directly in the playground tenants. This is just one vulnerability that I opened, and the process group overview. Let's go to this vulnerability again. And here you will see the process group overview. If I click on this, and it's just this one column, you can see to set a link and for title and the link that exactly that you use for your internal tracking systems.
Tool, it could be Jira, this could be whatever tool you're using internally to track any vulnerabilities. Great to then link it also. And with the API, obviously, you can fully automate that. That means you can have a Jira ticket automatically being created based on a detected vulnerability in Dynatrace, but then also link it back. That's really good. Cool exactly. Feature.
Okay, let's see what we have next. The ZOS modules that can be now downloaded via Web UI and Deployment UI. So this is basically that. Let's go to this tenant, and then I'm going to show you how you can do this. So here in Deploy Dynatrace One Agent menu, in Deploy Dynatrace application, you are going to find this ZOS parts section. So this ZOS, that's mainframe installation, and now the product datasets, the PEX files that can be downloaded that directly, and starting with this version. So now there's no need to publish that on our FTP server. So this is the specific section that for Kix, AMS, and ZOS, that's Java modules that you can download this datasets directly as a PEX file within this within your environment by the section. Okay. So this also, I think, that's important to change for especially for the company that use that mainframe. So I think, let's see, that's all. The only thing that I need to promote, of course, our resources, as always. So please, everyone, always try to use our chat within your tool. You will be surprised how effective, how we can get response from our teams. Please reach out to our product managers in community feedback channel. You will be surprised how our product managers are engaging with our users regularly. And please also check the webinars at university by recorded mostly by Andy and our several team members and colleagues. And you can find several advanced capabilities that say to understand that Dynatrace, that how it can impact your daily life, daily work, and use it for your different departments at different organizations. And basically that webinars also can be a good resource for you. So I think that's all from my end, Andy. Yes, please continue.
Yeah, that's just special thanks to you, Berkan, because you're always preparing all the content here. It's easy for me to just click the record button and then just maybe from time to time make a comment. Thank you so much to you. And we've been keeping now this release by release cadence. So that means this was 267. No, 276, and 277 is just around the corner. So stay tuned for the next video. And again, Berkan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
the
very much,
best.
Andy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.